Ed Gonzalez, Harris County Sheriff. I'm just going to go around real quick to make sure we get everyone introduce themselves. Not everyone's going to speak, but U.S. Marshal.
Howdy, T. Michael. That's T. period Michael, M-I-C-H-A-E-L, O'Connor, O' got the C-O-N-N-O-R. I'm the U.S. Marshal for the Southern District of Texas.
My name is Josh Wright. I'm the Chief Deputy U.S. Marshal for the Southern District of Texas.
With U.S. Marshals.
James McIntosh, Assistant Chief Deputy, Houston, Texas.
Troy Fenner, Houston Police Department.
Jimmy Paul, Assistant Special Agent in charge with the FBI in Houston.
And we have Chief Bosquez with the Harris County Sheriff's Office. At this time, we still have an active standoff. We're still trying to resolve the situation peacefully out here and give the suspect every opportunity to turn himself in peacefully. We're doing our due diligence, working very hard. We understand that there's a larger community out here as well, so try to make sure we keep everyone safe. Earlier this afternoon, into the early evening, our investigators, multi-agency investigators working on this case since yesterday, it's been a long 24 hours, made their way to this location as a possible address where suspect Green could be located at. As they began to make contact with individuals at the house, they determined that he was indeed possibly in the house. As they began to make entry into the home, they were greeted by gunfire. A member of the U.S. Marshal's Office, as well as a member of the Harris County Sheriff's Office, members of the Gulf Coast Task Force were struck during that initial gunfire by the suspect. They did not have an opportunity to return fire, so no law enforcement officers returned fire at the location. At that point, they retreated back. Subsequently, were transported to a hospital to receive treatment, and then the suspect again barricaded himself into the home, and that's where we've been ever since. So we have our hostage negotiation team as well as our Harris County Sheriff's Office SWAT team out here again trying to resolve the situation. The condition of our deputy from yesterday, he's doing well. As I mentioned, he remains critical but stable, and very positive improvement so far. He's doing very, very well, so we're encouraged by that. And the U.S. Marshal and his Chief Deputy will talk a little bit about the condition of those that were wounded here today.
Well, as you can see, we've had a few, unfortunately, we've had a few of these conferences or press releases, but I cannot not express enough to you the support of state, federal, and local agencies, not just the Gulf Coast Task Force, U.S. Marshal team members, but I mean everybody showed up, and we're out searching for this individual. Fortunately, we had a lead to come to this residence. As they tried to go in, he fired upon them upon entry. Of course, they all retreated. And as he mentioned, the sheriff's deputy, he was first in line, so he got a few rounds, but he's doing well. And so our two marshals were wounded, but not anything that we see that's serious in nature. We're just glad that they were able to retreat and allow the sheriff's office and their SWAT team to take over the scene at this point. So I'm going to let Chief Deputy give you a little more details as to what went on.
Okay, thank you, Marshal. So the Marshal and I, my Assistant Chief James McIntosh, we just left the hospital where we have two of our Deputy U.S. Marshals that are assigned to the Southern District of Texas. Both of them are in good spirits. They're receiving medical treatment and they're recovering. One of those deputies received a gunshot wound to the lower leg. The other one received shrapnel to the upper arm. We anticipate that they'll fully recover, and they're in good spirits. Family is surrounding them, and we're keeping them in our thoughts and prayers.
You may want to tell them where they're from.
Yeah, so we had a few deputy marshals brought up from within South Texas to Houston to support an operation of ours, Operation North Star, which is a violent crime reduction initiative. We had multiple Gulf Coast members pull away from North Star to support this fugitive investigation. One of our deputy marshals was from McAllen, the McAllen division, and the other was from Corpus Christi. And they'll be here in Houston recovering.
So fortunately, this North Star initiative that's been going on with the sheriff and the chief, us just happened to be, we sent a whole crew, a lot of our deputies up here to assist. So we were able to shift them over to assist the sheriff's office to pursue this individual.
So just to be clear, initially we said two law enforcement officers had been wounded. Technically it's 3. One received was impacted by some shrapnel. The others did receive more grazing wounds, but one did receive what we believe were at least two gunshot strikes to his upper torso. Thankfully, he was wearing his body armor, and again, it was a lifesaver. So we always stress the importance of wearing body armor. And again, in none of this, I want to make sure that we also emphasize that just the wonderful efforts of law enforcement, just knowing what they were facing, an individual that had already fired upon a deputy and seriously wounding him yesterday, knowing he had a serious criminal background, as I mentioned earlier, armed and dangerous, still began the pursuit of trying to locate him to make sure no one else got seriously hurt, because we felt this was a dangerous person with very little going at this point. And so we're just glad that we've been able to locate him, and right now we have him just located, and we've got a tight perimeter around him. And just want to thank all our law enforcement partners. Chief Finner's been with me side by side the last 24 hours. His entire team, they're out here as well. We have all kinds of law enforcement agencies, too many to mention, but that's what we have going on right now. Again, we still have an active scene. As far as the connection to this location, we believe that it's just known individuals to the suspect, Green. We don't know beyond that right now any more than that, just that he possibly knew somebody here at this location. Briefly in Spanish, tenemos tres oficiales que fueron baleados, miembros de...
So they're providing that update in Spanish over there. Houston, Texas area, suspect barricaded in a home. You can see there on the right side of your screen. This is some footage from just a few minutes ago, actually. We've been monitoring the situation, bringing it to you live here, raw and unfiltered. A SWAT vehicle there meant for negotiating tactics. You can see outside of the home on the right side of your screen, and we get a little zoom in from the chopper that was in that area. Not too much information is still known, but it looks like the sheriff is continuing his press conference in English. Let's go ahead and listen to that.
What's this like for you? Personally, everything that's transpired the last 24 hours, what is this like for you?
A lot of mixed feelings, I mean, it's obviously intense. We have one eye trying to make sure that our deputy's recovering. We've given those updates throughout the day. We have an entire team carrying him, making sure his family's okay. So that above everything is making sure he's okay. But beyond that, the concern of wanting to make sure that the community at large isn't harmed by this individual. People have already been hurt, seriously hurt, and we didn't want any more innocent people hurt by this. And so again, I want to commend my Harris County Sheriff's Office family and all law enforcement here, HPD, the marshals, and everyone for their selfless service and putting themselves out there in harm's way. And hopefully, and as I said earlier in a post, that I had full confidence in the Sheriff's Office, my team members, and all law enforcement. It was just a matter of time, and it looks like we're getting close to that reality. So,
well, but that the worries of a family member, what we were able to do, they were in condition to where they were able to call. That's the first thing I asked them when I got to the hospital. Have you been made contact with your family? And they have immediately. Secondary, since we got one from McAllen and one from Carpus, we immediately dispatched deputies to transfer them up here with their families at the hospital.
Has the suspect said anything to you guys, like during the negotiation?
I don't want to divulge too much, because again, it's still an active scene. So want to make sure that we're protecting our people out there that are on the front lines right now. So we understand. We've established that he's inside the home. We're giving him every opportunity to come out peacefully. We hope that he takes us up on that opportunity. Ultimately, that's what we're here, is to preserve life. That includes everyone. But it's a dangerous situation. Weapons involved. Again, we know he was armed, and again, at least 3 or 4 law enforcement officers have already been injured by this individual, and like I said, he's armed and dangerous.
Algo así decía usted, es un vecindario muy grande. ¿Cómo está la gente allá adentro? ¿Cómo están garantizando la seguridad?
Estamos tratando de proteger todas las personas.
The Sheriff Gonzalez for Harris County in Texas, continuing to answer questions in Spanish from reporters with the Spanish media. We know that Texas has a large population of mostly Spanish speakers that are also interested in this information.
We've canvassed the area, try to protect all residents, secured as best we can the perimeter, but again, don't want to divulge a lot of our tactics out there, just that we feel confident we have them contained and there's no threat, as I mentioned earlier, to the larger community.
Sheriff, can you clarify, so now it's 4 law enforcement?
Three were received direct strikes. The other one was from the shrapnel, but he was injured.
¿Puede actualizar esa información en español, por favor, que estamos?
He's going to clarify real quick.
So to clarify, our task force it's a mix of the best and brightest law enforcement professionals across the state, the country. And so on our task force, we have sheriff's deputies, we have city detectives, we have state. And so we had 3 that were injured. We had 2 deputy marshals, one of which was shot in the leg, the other received shrapnel. And then the third was a task force member of ours, a longstanding task force member, and he received some rounds to the vest and a grazing wound to the back of the shoulder, and is expected to fully recover. Yes.
¿Alguacil puede actualizar esa información en español, por favor? ¿Cuántos oficiales acaban? ¿Es la cuenta nueva?
Sí, pues ayer.
Just listening to reporters, they're asking for Sheriff Gonzalez to just relay that information from the other officials in this press conference in Spanish so that they can broadcast it to the Spanish media outlets. And they're just detailing right now the different injuries that these officers sustained. 4 of them wounded, 3 due to direct gunshot wounds, and 1 wounded by shrapnel.
Obviously, we've seen dozens of law enforcement officers out here today. You've now talked about 4 law enforcement officers which support that has been shot by the same suspect. Just talk about the sheer response.
Yeah, it's been an impressive response. Again, with this type of situation, everybody ascends here, and we appreciate the support just to see what else may be needed. There's a lot of moving parts to this, and we don't know if, again, we had to determine if something else may be needed, and people needed to have special assignments out here. And it's a brotherhood, it's a family. We're a family that sticks together, and to give the moral support and bounce ideas off each other, utilize each other's equipment and partners. There's just a lot of collaboration. But again, we have law enforcement in this region. All our local, state, and federal partners are really second to none. We have great cooperation. It's not built here at the scene. It's ongoing. We train together, we work together, we collaborate together, and you see the fruits of that out here today.
We watched the rug tear off the front of the home.
I'm sorry?
We watched the rug tear off the front of the home. Can you talk about that decision and what happened?
Yeah, there's different tactics. Again, we always start giving them every opportunity to comply with our demands, but we have a dynamic situation going on, and while we could establish that we feel fairly confident there's no innocent people at the house, you never know 100% certain until you're in the house. And with him being armed, fired upon us, then we have to use different tactics at different times. Again, all this is really being dictated by suspect Green. He's the one that decided to shoot upon the deputy. He's the one that decided to barricade himself. He's the one that has decided not to comply at this point. And so at some point, I hope he makes the right decision and just turns himself in peacefully for the good of everybody. That's the goal, but we do use different tactics. And again, he's the one that determines how we continue to escalate. Thank you all very much. Appreciate it. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Criminal history, how he was out on bond.
Thank you.
That would be the sheriff.
Marshall. Thank you.
That was the final question you heard there for Sheriff Gonzalez over with Harris County Sheriff's Office. This is near Houston, Texas. A barricade suspect. That's the situation that you're taking a look to the left side of your screen. That was a live shot from that press conference that just wrapped up moments ago. On the right side at the top, you see footage from the chopper earlier today of the house where that suspect is inside, according to law enforcement officers. And at the bottom, it's a photo of that suspect. A closer look at the scene that law enforcement is dealing with at this hour. Still a very busy, a very heavily law enforcement presence in this area. But this is footage, as I mentioned, from a few minutes ago. The chopper flew away, but this is what we were able to catch from the sky. You can see a SWAT vehicle there meant as to use for negotiations during a hostage situation. Now, it's not clear if there is a hostage involved in this situation, and we do not know yet if there is more people inside of this home besides that suspect that deputies in Harris County have been looking for since yesterday. Last night, we first told you about this suspect here. Let me pull up His photo, again, we were taking a look at it moments ago, but this is Terran Green, and he is accused of injuring 4 law enforcement officers now, 3 directly injured by gunshot wounds, and one of them was injured by shrapnel that hit him as a result of this suspect shooting. So he is inside the home at this moment, according to law enforcement, and the sheriff over there is just saying that they're trying to peacefully negotiate with the suspect to come out of that house. They keep saying that the ball is in his court at this moment. They don't want anyone to get hurt in this situation. They did give us an update on the deputy who was critically injured yesterday, recovering from those injuries, apparently doing better today, in good spirits. We know that a number of State Department leaders in Texas were sending condolences and were sending their best wishes. That includes Senator Ted Cruz, also the governor of Texas, Greg Abbott, and the mayor of Houston. In the meantime, we know that our team down at Fox 26 Houston has been covering this extensively, and that feed was courtesy of them. Let's listen to a wrap-up of their report that they had just a few moments ago.
We're going to begin straight with some breaking news that we're very closely following. The ongoing search for the man accused of shooting a Harris County sheriff's deputy. Now, Sheriff Ed Gonzalez says Terran Green is believed to be barricaded right now inside of a home on Silhouette Ridge that's over in Humble. And that's also where we find Fox 26's Matthew Seedorf live. So, Matthew, what's the latest? I know that they're really trying hard to get the suspect.
Yeah, that's right, Rashi. Right now, it's really just a waiting game. Law enforcement have surrounded this home within about a half-mile radius for about 2 hours now, and they're waiting it out, trying to end this peacefully. But I can tell you, just compared to when we were here 2 hours ago, things have really calmed down in the radius around it. You can see we're at John Ralston Road in the Beltway. It's now open. It was shut down earlier, but police still making their presence known out here as we're waiting for a press conference to start any minute. And then further down this road, this is where he's barricaded, only about a quarter mile down. And as you were saying, Terran Green, he's been barricaded inside there. He is accused of shooting a Harris County Sheriff's deputy yesterday, and now he's accused of shooting another Harris County Sheriff's deputy and a U.S. Marshal. Sources tell me that they were at this house. They had tracked him to this location, and then when they got to this house, he fired 2 shots around the door, and those members of law enforcement were transported, and they're expected to be okay. But again, now we're waiting. You can see members of the community all out here, lots of traffic, lots of cars, people just trying to figure out exactly when they can get back to their homes if they live in this section of town. We just heard from one resident. He's waiting, and he's hoping that this ends pretty soon.
Nah, not this magnitude, not like this. Not like this. This is a lot, but it's to be expected when it's one of their own. You know, they're gonna come out in full force. So it's an unfortunate situation, man. I hope they get their man, you know what I'm saying?
So, Rashi, we are expecting a press conference. I was just giving an update that's probably going to happen in about 20-25 minutes, around 9:45. And Chandler, if you want to swing this way, even at this hour, we're still seeing more members of law enforcement arriving to this home, as again, they're trying to end this peacefully. We also saw a hostage negotiation truck, but at this point, it's unknown if he's in the house by himself or not. Rashi, I'll go ahead and send it back to you.
Well, Matthew, I know it's a very tense situation, and we've been following this, and you can also watch on our live stream, fox26houston.com, and be getting a close look of that house, and it looks like the windows are all broken, and also it seemed like there were shots being fired from inside of that house. We saw also some smoke. Have you heard anything or heard from anyone that has possibly heard something happening there?
That's a good question. Now, we haven't personally heard gunshots from where we are. We're about a quarter mile from the home. That's about as close as we can get. But sources do tell me that they are trying to use gas to get him out peacefully, but that could be related to the bangs that we're hearing as well. So again, right now, they're just trying to end this as soon as they can and as peacefully as they can.
And also, we saw a lot of homes in that area. It's very densely populated with all of these homes, and there weren't people around there. Obviously, they're inside their homes, but then we did see some people that were on the street and they were watching. Has there been any directive from police about what those neighbors and people around should do?
I know that people have been told to avoid the area for a while there. There was a lot of traffic, just all the road closures were causing a problem. But you can see this parking lot, for a while we even saw people out with their phones, very curious, wondering what's going on. I know this gentleman on top of the green car, he's been waiting for about 2 hours like we have. He says that he lives in this neighborhood and is just hoping that it ends soon. And then, Chandler, if you want to flip it over here to the Beltway, we actually saw traffic was so bad during rush hour this evening that people had stopped on the highway and were kind of yelling and looking out over the traffic and just kind of wondering what's going on below. I even heard one person yell, "Shoot him." So people seem to know what's going on. They're following the story very closely and hoping that this ends soon and peacefully.
Yeah, definitely just very aggravated with the situation and hoping that he gets caught soon. Thank you so much, Matthew, and we'll keep you updated on air and also online, fox26houston.com. Now we're continuing our coverage now with Fox 26's Randy Wallace, who is over at Kingwood Medical Center, where we are seeing police presence there as well. Randy.
Yeah, Rashi, there's a lot of Houston police officers, a lot of sheriff's deputies. Right now, the good news is, according to Sheriff Ed Gonzalez, the two officers that were shot, a Harris County sheriff's deputy and an officer with the U.S. Marshal's Office, are both said to be in good condition. So that's the good news here tonight. Now, keep in mind that Deputy Anderson remains hospitalized. He was shot last night. He remains hospitalized at Herman Hospital, and we're hearing that he is improving. A lot of police officers, sheriff's deputies came out here to the hospital. I saw a line earlier. It looked like the officers were possibly giving blood. And of course, the thing to keep in mind here is that Terran Green, the man accused of shooting 3 officers in about a 24-hour period, some are questioning again, why was he even out? He was out on bond for 2 felony charges. He's a 3-time ex-con. He got a $5,000 bond for felon in possession of a weapon. He walked out of jail April the 1st, didn't go back to court, and is now a wanted fugitive. And we've seen this in the past where officers and suspects get wounded or killed in shootouts with these wanted fugitives. Sadly, this is not the first time, and it won't be the last. Be sure to keep these officers in your prayers. Reporting live from Kingwood Hospital, Randy Wallace, Fox 26 News.
All right, Randy, well, thank you. And we're going to continue to follow this breaking news story. You can follow us on your phone over on fox26houston.com. Also, we have this new app, Fox Local.
That was our team, Fox 26 down there in Houston. A great job with their reporting as they were staying on top of this story. Going to bring it back here with us at Live Now from Fox. However, take a look at this. Another photo of the suspect. A better look at him, Terran Green. And this is courtesy of the FBI hub in Houston. A lot of upset residents are regarding this situation, and also law enforcement agents saying that this man has 5 prior felony convictions. Take a look at this tweet. It features a photo just detailing some of those convictions. This tweet says, Terran Green has 5 prior felony convictions and has been to prison 3 times, was sentenced to 2 years May 22nd for aggravated assault with a gun, was out on multiple felony bonds April 23rd, and forfeited bond May 23rd. He's a wanted fugitive and the ramifications of felony bond reform. So 4 officers injured as a result of this suspect, Terran Green, 3 of them injured after being directly hit, directly shot, and one of them was struck by shrapnel when they were also responding to this situation. I want to step away for a short break. When we come back, we're going to stay on some of the top crime stories of the day, as well as continue to monitor this situation out of Houston. So don't go anywhere. Live Now from Fox will return in just 2 minutes.